Hello, hello, hello. This is just me doing a little video just to, I don't know. I've not rehearsed or prepared any of this, but I just want to, I suppose, put your mind at rest if you are just starting out on this whole journey of asking what's going on in the world and maybe you're worried. I'm going to try and put your mind at rest. Sorry, I've been doing a lot of talking this morning. Jeez. Mouth's really dry. Right, okay, so yes, we are seeing the world like crumbling before our eyes, but it's a good thing that we are going through this transition. So try and get your head around what's been happening for literally hundreds of years in this world. You've got to kind of get your head around the idea that there's good people and there's bad people. And that sort of good and evil battle, we've literally been controlled by a lot of bad people, see them as criminals, but the criminals that have been like right at the top of all of the huge power structures in the world, like corporations, like all the governments, the people pulling the strings, people owning the big pharmaceutical companies, people owning the media and controlling what we're consuming on a day-to-day basis, people that control the education systems and make sure everyone stays in their little boxes and conforms to exactly how they want us to be. So that's how the world has looked for quite a long time. But and this is how I think visibly now what's coming out into the public eye. You know, most people have heard of the New World Order. Most people have heard of the whole Klaus Schwab and the WEF and all of that jazz and all of those agendas that are there. But I'm here to tell you that there is a whole different side of that. That is not the way we are going. We have totally changed tracks. The timeline's completely changed. And the reason why I know that is because it's all being exposed. Okay, we were being railroaded down this route of the New World Order, this one world government, this social credit system, system that we see a lot in China. If you're aware of the system that they have there, and we were literally going down this track, and then it flipped, it changed, and then instead of going down this track, it has been exposed to us. It's been brought into the public eye. It's there for us all to see now. We've literally all waking up to it. And the reason that is happening is because the good guys in the back of this war, and it has been a war, they've won. But what they're doing now is they are exposing it to the people so that we, the people, can see everything for what it is. So we are starting to see the corruption coming out now. We are starting to see these political power systems just crumbling before our eyes. We are starting to see the monarchy crumbling before our eyes. If that offends you, please do your own research into it. In fact, do your own research into everything. I am not here to tell you what to think or what to believe. 100% not. I don't even have a clue myself. I'm still learning. This is just based on what resonates with me, what I've seen and what I've heard of the past few years that I've been on this journey. And I'm at that place where I have that inner knowing, but that is what resonates with me. That might not be what resonates with you. So always, and I say this so many times, use discernment in everything, okay? Always use discernment with everything that you see and think and read and all the rest of it. So I want to put your mind at rest. How can I put your mind at rest? So, for example, if we were on track to, the one world government, the control systems and all of the other jazz that you're seeing, they wouldn't be exposing, look at Biden, look at how much of a crap job he has done visibly to the world. Yeah, I mean, he's coming on to TV and it doesn't even make sense. He's falling up and down steps and all of that stuff. That's because he's literally a puppet now. That's not the real Biden. The real Biden's already had his military tribunals and trials behind the scenes. He's no longer on this earth. Same with a lot of the people that are publicly that you know of. You might see all the Hollywood actors. Who was it? Was it Katy Perry the other day who malfunctioned her clone? These things are real, yeah? And if you don't realize that body doubles and clones and stuff are out there, then you really do need to start waking up. Because if you think that what's just accessible for us people, normal people, and then think what's accessible to those really super wealthy people, then you'll realize that actually, yeah, they do have clones and they do have body doubles. And that's what we've been watching when it comes to Biden. And a lot of the public figures that are in our faces, a lot of them are body doubles, just playing this out so that they are exposing what's going on so that they can unite humanity and bring humanity together so we can then step into this new world that we're going to be creating together. I've said a lot there, haven't I? Let me try and break that down a bit. So, for example, the original plan, New World Order plan, we had, was it 4 years of Obama? All of the wars that went on there, all of the conflict, but yeah, the media was telling us Obama's amazing, we've all got to love and worship Obama, and that's how it was. Everybody, you know, if even most of you now probably still think in your mind, yeah, he was a brilliant president, but yeah, if you actually look at what he achieved during his time, look at all the wars that were created and started during that time, all of the attacks, then you might start to think, you know, maybe that programming that we received, that media, that constant media information telling us how amazing it is, maybe it wasn't accurate. Okay, so the plan was to have Obama, and then the plan was immediately to have 2 terms of Hillary Clinton, because these are the people who are controlled. You know, they get bribed, they are controlled, they are in control of the media, everything else, you know. Again, do your own research. So that was the plan. Okay, back in 2016, she was going to go in, we was going to go through this whole COVID, this big pandemic. It was supposed to have been a lot longer than what it was, like lockdowns for 3 years, yeah? Then there was going to create the vaccine. Then it was going to be a completely and utterly forced vaccine. I know we've had a taste of it. It was not that taste of the forced vaccines. I've said that word a lot. I hope that this doesn't get flagged. That taste of those forced injections was only a tiny little part of what actually was the true plan according to the New World Order. Okay, all of us would have been literally forced. You know, those FEMA camps that you saw that were getting built, if you've done your research, you'll know about those were for the unvaccinated people. That's what they were for. Okay, so that was the plan. So now in this, what we're in 2022, this timeline now, we would have been screwed. Okay, we'd have been in that place of control, lockdowns, forced injections, and then they'd use global warming to fill you with more fear. You know, you can't go out, you can't do this, you can't drive your cars. So you are literally controlled, and then you were going to get your like a benefit where they give you so much money that you can spend. If you're a good citizen, then you'll be able to do this, you'll be able to do that. If you're not a good citizen, then you won't be able to travel here and stuff. That was the plan, and that's why we would probably have been there by now had that happened. But it didn't happen. What happened instead in the background was the good guys. So there's loads army generals. I don't know who the team is. I haven't got a clue who that is. But they asked quite a number of people in America at the time, people that were really well respected, really well liked, to go into the front door and run as president. The reason why they did that, now they could have just, they had 2 options at the time. On my understanding, they had 2 options. They knew what was happening. They knew where Obama was taking us. They knew where Hillary Clinton was taking us. And they saw all this plan. So they had 2 options. One option was to go in using force, using the military to take over and to drag them out of the White House and to take back control. But because the people were so programmed to believe in that Obama was really good, and it would have just created massive chaos and mayhem. The whole of humanity would have been like fighting and at war, because can you imagine going back then when everyone's loving Obama and then the military just swoop in and arrest him? Like, can you imagine the spin as well? Because the media is fully controlled as well by them. Can you imagine the spin that the media have put onto it to fill us like normal people up with so much fear, so that we all, fight against each other and everything else? I mean, you only have to think about how much conflict, like just the Black Lives Matter, how much conflict that made and how much like chaos that created amongst the people. It's like perfect plans of divide and conquer, isn't it? Just give them a few stupid things to argue about and keep them nicely distracted while we're creating these like really big scary things going on in the background, and they don't know about it because they're just distracted for these really trivial things. So the reason why they decided to go in the front door, they decided to get somebody who had a really, really good, strong chance at winning, obviously knowing that elections are rigged. They all are across the world. I'm just seeing that now. We're going to see that really soon as well with Brazil. So the reason why they wanted somebody who was really well respected to run as president was to make sure it was such an overwhelming vote that they did make sure that they got in. Enter Trump. As soon as he decided to run, like America used to love Trump. Everybody was like, yeah, Trump's amazing. As soon as he started running for president, the media just literally started that hate campaign against him. Yeah. Firing into him, trying to dig up as much dirt, all of the stuff that went on against him. But he just went in because he also was aware of what's going on. He was also aware of this plan, this Agenda 2021, whatever it was. And he wanted to stop that. So he agreed to run as president. He didn't need to do it. You know, geez, the man's a decent made man. He's just got all his wealth and billions. He's old. He wants to spend his time with his family and his kids. But he agreed to do that. And when he was in his term as president, they literally pulled down all of the started cutting down a lot of the control structures, a lot of the things in the background, policies, spoke to a lot of, well, he went around every single different head of state around the world to have those conversations about what's going on, to expose all of the disgusting corruption that's going on. If you've looked into child trafficking, into human trafficking, the Epstein thing, geez, when that comes out and actually exposed for what's going on, you will be absolutely mind blown. That's not my place to tell you about any of that stuff. You've got to find it all out. But yeah, he went round and he basically, you know, got them all on side. And this is all behind the scenes. None of this was published in the media. You know, the media is telling us that he's on the golf course all the time. Well, actually, no, he's not. He's done a massive, massive deal for humanity. So if you're thinking, why have we got Biden in now? We haven't got Biden in. We're watching a movie. We are literally watching a movie. And that is why he's just looking like an absolute 100% twat on the TV. Because if he was truly in power, and if we were still on that timeline, then we'd all be loving and respecting him in exactly the same way we did Obama, because the media would be spinning it that way. But now we're at this time where we are waking up. So the good guys they've done what they needed to do behind the scenes. They've arrested shed loads of people. There's military tribunals going on all over the place. Look at, I can never say the word, Gitmo, Guantanamo Bay. If you do a bit of research and look into the size of that and how big it is now, because there's that many people there. Look at all the Hollywood houses that have been up for sale recently. Look at all the CEOs that have all resigned over the past 2 years. There's a reason. It's because they've all been rounded up and they're all being dealt with. It's all done. It's all done and dusted in the background. What we're seeing now is literally just this getting exposed to the world, because if these good people years ago started to try and tell us stuff when the media is being controlled by these bad people, and we're also programmed, to love, for example, the monarchy. We're all programmed to love the monarchy and love the Queen and love Princess Kate, William, and all the rest of it. It needs to be exposed for what it is, and that's why you've seen the Jerry Savile case come out, and you're soon going to see some exposure around Charles. The monarchy is going to get passed to William before long, and then that's going to dissolve, because when you dig into what the monarchy is and what's been going on and what they've been in control of, you will be absolutely freaking mind blown of the stuff that we've been put through as humans, right? And the stuff that's been going on that you've got no idea about. Yeah, you might have, but find out. So yeah, we're just going through this time of exposure. The financial system, yeah, absolutely. The financial system needs exposing, because all it is doing is serving the people at the top. They literally print and create money. They can literally go into a computer and add another naught onto things. National debt, it is just a fictional. It doesn't even exist, right? It's like me creating money. It's like me just deciding, like, do you know what? I'm going to make sure that, I don't know, this pen is the new currency, and then distribute it. But I can create as many of these pens as I want, or as little as these pens as I want. I am in complete control of everybody's wealth, everybody's debt. I just make that myself to serve me. That's what's happened. The Federal Reserve is not federal, and it's completely bankrupt. Right? It's gone. The system's gone. Oh, no, we're not going into the one world digital currency. We're using a system. We're going to be going to a gold-backed currency. It's going to be, I think in the UK we're going to get the sterling token. In the US, I think it's going to be the US note. So we're all going to have a different version of that. But they're all going to be equal. So instead of like Iraqi dinars, Zimbabwe, Zims, you know, $1 million note equal to however many British pounds, it's all going to be totally equal. So it's much fairer across the world. So you're not going to have the wealthy countries, the third world countries, which have literally been just completely robbed of all the natural resources by, again, the governments that we don't get told about. So yeah, in terms of the financial system, I think we're going to see a couple of different. We're going to see this one crash. So the stock market will go, then we'll see the financial system crash. You might not be able to get your money out of the banks. We'll probably see maybe a couple of different options try to come in and maybe lead us down some routes. But they're all going to go. And ultimately, we're going to get to this gold-backed place where we're going to have the British sterling token. And some digital currencies as well. There's a lot that have been used for really, really bad stuff in the past. But there's a lot that are, you know, really good, and it is a good way to transfer money and to keep track of money and make sure that it's only being used for good things as well. So that's the financial system. I do think there's going to be a scare event as well. Now, it's a bit funny. Been waiting for this for 2 years. Don't know what it is. Whether or not it's going to be a nuclear bomb or a threat of a nuclear bomb or dirty bomb or alien invasion, missile, meteorite, don't know what it is, massive earthquake around the world, whatever it is, okay, just know that everything we are seeing at the moment is optics, yeah? You've got a choice. You've got a choice to be fearful of it, or you've got a choice to tune into this inner knowing that you've got, and everybody has got that inner knowing. If you block out your mind and stop your thought and just take that time just to close your eyes, take some deep breaths, you'll feel your natural state in here. And that is your inner guidance system. And that is the thing that you should always come back to and always trust, no matter what. No matter what you've been told, no matter what the world's telling you, no matter how much on the TV they're telling you that there's been this big nuclear attack, or that if you step out your house you're going to die, you know what, just always trust and believe what your inner voice is telling you, because that is your connection to the bigger energy in the world, and that is the one thing that they cannot control. That's why that's why they have kept us in fear, and that's why, you know, yeah, that's why they've kept us in fear for this long. So be sensible, you know, get some cash out, have that on hand, get some food out, just make sure that you've got a couple of, you know, a week's worth of food maybe. Make sure you've got water on hand, make sure you've got the things that you need in case things do go wrong. I mean, my husband and children laugh their head off at me because I found all this stuff out, you know, it must have been about 2 years ago. I got all my preparations like, come on, Mum, when's it happening? When's it happening? I don't want to go to school today. When's it happening? And it's exactly like when the Queen was announced dead. You know, the media sort of prepped us for a good few months first. You know, she's poorly, she's not doing this, she's not going here, blah, blah, blah. And then finally, eventually drops, announced it. And they're kind of doing the same now. So even though 2 years ago, I was like running around telling everyone I knew, this is going to happen. Don't be scared, you know, don't be fearful, don't worry. You know, even if you see this and that and the other, it's nothing to be scared about. But now the media's kind of prepping us. I'm always seeing glimpses of things like, you know, I think they're blaming it on the energy crisis. We're going to have electricity cut-offs, and we're going to have this, and we're going to have that. So it's almost like the mainstream media now are prepping people to expect this to happen. And I'm like, thank goodness for that. It's finally happening, because this will be the time where I think we'll get the emergency broadcasting system as well. A lot of people are getting the notifications on the phone, and it's freaking people out. It's nothing to be freaked out about. It is basically the good guys' way of getting messages to us, where we are not relying on the mainstream media, because the mainstream media does still, even though the people at the bad of all the at the top of all these control structures, a lot of them have been arrested and dealt with. There's still a lot of the people lower down the chain who are still pulling strings, who are still doing bad things, who are still around there. So even though, to a large extent, I do think the media is controlled by the good guys now. And obviously, because of the stuff you see, because of the exposure you're seeing, because of the way that they're portraying people, they're letting so much leak out now to mainstream consciousness. So I do believe that, but I do also believe that there's quite a lot of the bad ones in there that are still going along with this official narrative that they've been told to carry on with. So so when you get your emergency broadcast system, don't worry. I don't think it's going to be for long. I'd say 10 days at the most, but probably definitely not that. I think I don't know if it's like a worldwide shutdown. I don't know if we're expecting it before the 8th of November. A lot of sort of intel and spiritual readings are saying sort of before the 8th of November. And the reason is because I don't know if the bad guys who are in control of this scare event that's going to come, that they're going to try and scare us, they don't want people to go out and vote on the 8th of November, because I think, because America, that's what I was going to say earlier. Yeah, sorry, I need to remember to say something. So the reason why Biden got in is because America was so divided at the time, wasn't it? Republican, Democrats, and so they needed to unite the country. Like, you need to unite the people in the world, and so that's why they let Biden appear to be in as president, so that he's gone in and he's done so much crap, right? Even the Democrats are desperate for unity again, and they're desperate for, it's not about Republican, it's not about it's not about any of that. That's just an illusion, Republican, Democrat, it's just an illusion of choice. It's always who's been controlling them, but that Trump was never controlled. The reason why we know he was never controlled, because the media hated him. The media is being controlled, yeah? The media just tried to totally tarnish him. So what were I getting at? Oh yeah. So with this election going on, they don't want people to go out and vote, do they? So are they going to try and keep people in the houses? Are they going to have this threat of nuclear something going on? I don't know. I don't know what that is, but just please, if something happens, just don't be fearful. Don't be fearful. Something's got to happen. There is going to be a scare event of some description, but don't be fearful of it. We're just transitioning away from all of this deception and fear-based control system that we've had for all of this time, and we are just moving towards a better place where we won't have governments making their decisions for us. We're not going to have people in power. We're going to have everything devolved and more localized. We're going to have communities back where we actually get to figure out what we want to do, what we enjoy doing, what lights us up, what our true gifts and our true passions are around, The education system, having some people trying to control your kids, no. Because when your kids are born, they are so high vibe, they are so full of energy and love and creativity and joy and uniqueness and passion, and all of those things need to be nurtured. We need to learn from them, because we've just been so controlled. Anyway, it's all changing. So I think that's all I wanted to say. Yeah, just be sensible, just be prepared in case anything happens. Keep an open mind. Remember, everything you're seeing right now is optics. It is just optics. It is like we're literally watching a movie. And when you step back from that and step back from the fear and stop taking it don't take it for face value. Just have an open mind and think, if what Laura's saying is true, actually, the kind of making that obvious. And yeah, they've brought that into the public eye now. And yeah, they're making us see this. And just have that open mind, you know. Again, don't believe what I'm saying. Do your own research. There's loads of resources on my website that resonate with me. They might not resonate with you. That's fine. You know, just go where you're led. But what I would say is, if you can, just try to block out your thoughts and just take time to just sit on your own and listen to what your inner guidance system is telling you. Then you will be absolute quids in, because again, and I've said this so many times, the reason why we as humanity have gotten into such a crappy situation is because we have all just blindly trusted everything we've been told. We've listened to the TV and we've trusted that they want the best for us. We've trusted the government. We've basically put our trust in everything and anything apart from ourselves. And that is the one message that I'm going to leave you with this video is trust yourself. All right. If you've never tried meditation, it sounds woo-woo. You don't have to sit there going, okay. All it is just stopping your thoughts, stopping the worry, stopping that constant barrage of BS that is constantly coming your way. Just try and stop it all. Just let the thoughts come in and then let them go. You know, you can try some guided meditations. YouTube's full of them. There's a brilliant app, and I recommend this to everybody, called Insight Timer. INSIGHT Timer. The little icon, it's like a little bowl on a white background. It's amazing. Just start with a 5-minute guided meditation. Just make you feel amazing. And yeah, tune out from all the rubbish. We're going to see what we're going to see. It's going to be rocket. I'm not going to lie to you. It is going to look a bit, it's going to look a bit daunting the next few, I don't know, weeks, months, years. I don't know how long it's going to take. But the best thing that you can do is just tune into yourself. Don't be scared, be prepared, and be open-minded. And on that note, I am going to leave this video here, and I hope it's been useful. If you want to share it, I would massively appreciate that, or I'm a bit scared because I'm still really nervous about being on here. Oh yeah, and it's worth me just mentioning as well, I've just created a free masterclass on helping you to manage your energy, and how when you control your energy, you literally create your reality as well. So I'll put the link to that on my video too. If you want to download that, I would love you to, and I'd love your feedback as well. Have an amazing rest of the day, and I will catch you soon.